You are listening to Mindset and Metabolism Mastery, Episode 11. It is 2024 and you have some big goals this year, my friend. I am going to walk you through the 4 things that will determine whether or not you make it all the way to your goal. Let's go. Welcome to Mindset and Metabolism Mastery, a show for women who are tired of feeling hopeless, defeated, and frustrated with their bodies and want to have more energy to show up every day as the best version of themselves. I'm holistic nutrition consultant Shannon Hagel, and I can help you reprogram your brain to create bulletproof consistency with ease and address your personal hormonal imbalances that are leading to weight gain. Life can feel a whole lot better with a body you love, delicious food, and a little wine. And I'm here to help you get there. Ready to lose weight and feel amazing in your body? Let's dive in. Welcome, friends. As this new year comes into full swing, you may have set some pretty lofty goals for yourself. I know I certainly have. I love goals. I geek out on goals. I love having something to work towards, to get me out of my comfort zone and really, push the boundaries of what I think I'm capable of. Some goals I've hit, others not so much. I've made some headway and then didn't really see it all the way through. Sometimes I've actually made it to my end goal, but then didn't actually stay there. And other times I gave up long before I even started to see any sort of movement towards my results. It wasn't until I really sat down and studied what was the difference between me achieving a goal or failing at a goal that I was really able to start to understand how I could ensure that I made it all the way to that end goal every time. And so today I'm going to share with you how you can ensure that you make it all the way to your goals this year. So the first thing that I noticed was that the goals that I succeeded at, I was more willing, more committed to creating a different result than I was to feeling comfortable. And so I would ask you that, thinking of the goals that you've set for yourself this year, when you think about that goal, are you more committed to feeling comfortable or more committed to creating that result? Because it really is one or the other. In order to create any different result than we currently have, we're going to have to do different things to achieve it. And because of the way your brain is designed, your brain always defaults to saving energy, to doing the easiest thing that requires the least amount from you. And so naturally, your brain would much rather feel comfortable, live in that comfort zone, doing the things that it is really good at doing the things that come easy to you, the things that you have practiced over and over, the things that you're currently doing right now. But to create a different result, you're actually going to have to move against your brain. You're going to have to leave that comfort zone and actually choose discomfort on purpose. Now, one is not different than the other. You can decide, I'm not really committed to creating a different result. I would rather stay feeling comfortable. And that is fine. One is not better than the other. But I do encourage you to consciously make the choice. When you don't consciously make the choice to choose discomfort for a different result over staying in your comfort zone, you will default to doing the things that you're currently doing right now. So it has to be a conscious decision. The beautiful thing is that on the other side of discomfort is change. Discomfort is the payment required in order to create that different result. But what is on the other side of consistency is actually delayed comfort. So even though doing these different things, making these different choices in order to get you towards your goal feels uncomfortable initially, when you continue to do that thing over and over, it becomes your norm. It becomes the new way that you do things. It becomes your new comfort zone, your new baseline. As long as you're willing to swim through that river of misery, where you're choosing discomfort on purpose over and over again, eventually that discomfort becomes comfortable. So look at your goals and decide, which one are you more committed to? Feeling comfortable or creating that new result? The second thing I noticed that was really different between goals that I was successful at and goals that I was not so successful at was the energy I used to get there. And what I mean by that is that most clients that I work with in health and wellness and weight loss, their motivation to change is usually coming from the energy of pain, of trying to hate themselves thin, of really disliking where they're currently at and using that energy to drive them forward. Pain can be a great motivator. The problem is that when you don't find a more positive way to motivate yourself, you're not going to get all the way to your goal. Because as you get closer to your goal, motivated by that pain, that hate, you start to make strides. You start to see changes. You start to move away from your pain. But if pain was the only thing motivating you there, suddenly your motivation starts to dwindle, right? So it's okay if that's where you're starting out from, using pain to motivate, using hating where you're at to motivate yourself forward. But at some point, you are going to have to find a positive way to motivate yourself, where moving out of the pain actually fuels more motivation. This is the difference between loving yourself thin and hating yourself thin. Most of you have tried hating yourself thin. Not only is that not sustainable long term, it also leaves you feeling just as shitty, just in a smaller package. We have a lot of fear around loving ourselves thin. I use thin in quotations because I fully know that that's not everyone's goal, nor is it the epitome of health. I just use it because it's catchy and easy to remember. Hating yourself thin versus loving yourself thin. So if you were to work towards your weight loss goal, your health goal, from a place of love and compassion, I promise you, you will get all the way there. A lot of times we think that if we loved and accepted ourselves, had compassion for ourselves, we wouldn't be motivated to move forward into the discomfort. We think we have to be harder on ourselves to get there. When you think about it, when you think about your other relationships, doing things from the place of love instead of hate is way more motivating for you to do the things you might not always want to do, right? Like it would be so much easier to just let my kids eat mac and cheese for every single meal of every single day. I don't know about you, but my kids are picky. They want to stay in their comfort zone. They want that immediate gratification, something that they think is delicious, and they want to eat that and only that. And it would be so much easier for me if I just allowed that to happen. But because I believe strongly in the importance of nutrition for their growing bodies, I know that they need vegetables, that they need protein, that they need these other elements that are going to help their body function optimally, help their brains grow. And so even though it's harder, way more work for me, and I have to deal with all of the complaints and whining, I make different meals other than just mac and cheese because I love them. The easiest things are not always the most loving things to do, right? So if you were moving towards your goal from a place of loving yourself, you're way more likely to show up for yourself the way your body needs you to, rather than just what is easiest. Now, the third thing I've noticed with my goals is they often have competing desires. And you might have noticed this as well. You have the desire to lose weight, to stop overeating, to eat healthier, to move your body more. But you also have the desire to just eat the popcorn and the chips and the crackers and the chocolate and the wine and sit on the couch. These desires are competing. They do not align. They're moving towards different outcomes, different results. A lot of the times we use this desire against ourselves. We see the desire we have for the quick payoff, the entertainment from the Netflix or the dopamine hit from the cheese and the wine and the treats. And so when we don't answer that desire, we can often feel restricted. We feel discomfort. We feel like we're making a sacrifice. But we forget that there's also discomfort and sacrifice on the other side. When we answer the desire of overeating, nighttime snacking, giving into cravings, we get to fulfill that desire, But we sacrifice getting towards our goals, feeling good in our body, our energy, our sleep quality, feeling confident in our skin. Those are also sacrifices. And so it's good to remember that there's sacrifices on both sides. No matter which one you choose, you are going to feel discomfort. It's uncomfortable to not be in a body that you feel good in. It's also uncomfortable to want to eat the chips and not eat the chips. You get to choose which one you want to act towards, which desire you want to fulfill. Again, one is not right or wrong. We don't need to judge it. You just get to decide which decision is going to move you closer to your goals that you want long term, right? In competing desires, usually one desire gives you an immediate payoff and the other gives you a long term payoff. It takes a while to get there, but we also get to experience that pleasure for longer. It's usually more meaningful. And so, of course, our brain wants pleasure now, not tomorrow. And so it's often easier or feels more intense to not make decisions that is aligned with the desire for the quick hit pleasures. So just acknowledging that there is discomfort, sacrifice, and desire on both sides of the equation, I think can really start to bring some of the power out of this. And the fourth and final difference that I've noticed in the goals that I have succeeded at and the goals that I have not is my ability to be patient. When you think about the result that you want to create, ask yourself, how long are you actually willing to work towards that goal before getting to that result? And this is really interesting that comes up for you because I've worked with so many clients that come to me and they are ready. They are motivated. They are so excited to make healthy changes, to start to feel better in their body. They are so committed until a week, maybe 2, maybe 4 weeks in, when they think that they should be farther ahead in their results than they actually are. And this is where all the drama comes up in our brain. When we are not creating the result as fast as we think we should be, all those thoughts that start to question whether or not it's the right thing, whether or not it's worth it. Is there something else I should be doing that will get me these results faster? These gremlin thoughts start to creep in. And what these thoughts do is give you an opening to start to back out of your goal, to start going back to the things that you were doing before because, screw it, we're not getting there anyways. Nothing's going to take you farther away from your results than going, screw it, and stopping doing the things that are going to get you there. And so I like to ask my clients that are in this hustle, in this hurry to get out of their current pain, how long are you actually willing to support your body before getting the result? Again, there's no judgment around it. Just be curious. What answer does your brain actually give you? It might tell you 4 weeks. I'm willing to give it 4 weeks. And if I don't have X result in 4 weeks, I'm out. That's going to tell you a lot about your tolerance for discomfort and whether or not you're using willpower to force your way to that result or actually making long-term changes. Maybe your brain goes, you know what? I'm committed to making these changes and being consistent with them, and I'm willing to let it take as long as it takes. Maybe I lose a half a pound a month and I'm okay with that because by the end of 2 years, I will be 12 pounds down and it will be sustainable and I'm okay with that. Maybe it'll be somewhere in the middle, right? We know that we've heard many times before, and I'm going to say it again. Half a pound to 2 pounds of weight loss a week is normal, is a healthy pace to lose weight. And that is an average. So that doesn't mean it will look like that every single week. Some weeks might be more, some weeks might be less. You might have less or no movement for several weeks as your body is healing and getting into balance before it's able to feel safe enough to let go of the weight. And so just looking at how long you're actually willing to support your body before you get the result you're actually committed to will tell you a lot about whether or not you're actually going to get all the way to your goal. So the difference is between a goal that you will succeed at and a goal that you will fail at is whether or not you are more committed to feeling comfortable or more committed to creating a different result. It will depend on whether you are hating yourself towards that goal or loving yourself towards that goal. It will depend on your competing desires and which desires you're able and willing to choose in the moment. And it will depend on your patience, your ability to move forward with the things you know are supportive of your goal, even if you don't get that immediate gratification of the result as fast as you would like. So I invite you to relook at some of your 2024 goals with this lens, with consciously deciding that you are going to get all the way to your goal and you're going to enjoy the ride as you go. I will see you in next week's episode. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day. If you enjoyed today's show and don't want to worry about missing an episode, you can follow the show wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you could share the podcast with others who you think might benefit from it and leave a rating and review to let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be a 5-star rating, although I sure hope that you love the show. I want your honest feedback so I can create an awesome podcast that provides tons of value. Visit www.thrivefromtheinside.com/podcast launch for step-by-step instructions on how to follow, rate, and review. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Mindset and Metabolism Mastery. If you want to learn more about balancing your hormones, repairing your metabolism, and losing weight with empowerment and ease, visit www.thrivefromtheinside.com. I'll see you next time.